Welcome in to Keeping Up with Montevallo Athletics. I'm your host, Caleb Brooks, joined by head volleyball coach, Coach Tena Niven. And Coach, for y'all, big week last week, the most meaningful games of the season were here, and your team was able to pass the test with flying colors. And it wasn't easy. You guys got down to Bibb County, had to fight your way back in that one, but you had to be really proud of your group to be able to dig deep, find a way to come back against them, and really put themselves in a really good position now in this area.
Yeah, you know, there's just something about going to Bibb County. It's always hard to play at the gym. It doesn't matter if it's volleyball, basketball. It really doesn't matter if, you know, they're a great team or just an average team. We just tend to struggle playing in that gym for some reason. And, you know, anybody that's ever played before will tell you that's, you know, they can think of one gym that they just always had trouble playing in. And for us, you know, it just seems to be Bibb's gym that is a little tough for us. Excuse me, but we got there. We started off really well, won the first game, came out just flat the second and third game. Didn't pass well, weren't communicating, nobody was really talking to each other. We managed to get by the fourth game, and in the fifth game we wound up winning like 15-4. I mean, just, you know, total turnaround, which makes you want to strangle them. You know, you're glad that they came back and fought, but it's like, guys, we could have had this 3-0 maybe and all. But Bibb has one of the best teams that they've ever had right now. You know, we have a really good team. So, you know, I didn't think it was going to be easy going in there, but, you know, like I said, and it wasn't. You know, it proved to be a fight all the way to the end. And then, you know, we get the win against West Blocton, who has a new coach and has them playing really hard. And but we were able to get a 3-0 win there as well. So yeah, it's important to go ahead and get those two area wins on the road. And now we come back and we'll play them here in another week here at our place, and hopefully seal up the area tournament so that we can host it here at home.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, you could potentially just be playing the rest of your area games right here in this gym.
Exactly. That's what we're shooting for sure.
When you look at this past week, you know, in the comeback with Bibb, what did y'all find? You know, you guys made some adjustments in the match and had to figure some things out. They kind of came out and did some different things that you guys weren't expecting. And so what were some of the things that y'all had to change up to find some success against them?
Yeah, really, I mean, the practice before, you know, looking back at film, you know, they had always done things like double blocking in the middle and on the outside as well. And it wound up that, you know, one of their players was hurt. I'm not sure if that's why they chose not to do it the way that they usually do it. But, you know, we had practiced for a certain way, and so, you know, our guys had kind of had the mindset, okay, this is what I've got to do. This is where I've got to tip. This is where I've got to put the ball. I'm always going to have a double block. And when we got there, there was really only one girl that was trying to block all three positions. So really, we just had to just play ball. But for, you know, some reason, you know, we just had it in our head that, you know, we had to do something different. And I'm like, guys, you can throw everything that we did yesterday, all that strategy stuff away, and just play. You know, you've got one block. And, you know, they come back to the bench, are you sure I didn't have two? And it's like, no, trust me, there's been one girl blocking the whole net, you know, all night. And so, you know, a lot of it is just, we've got to get more mentally tough. Is really what it comes down to, and understand being able to adapt when it's you know, when things are a little bit different, that, you know, it's not that big a deal. You still have to play the game basically the same way. There's just a couple of, you know, of just little adjustments that you may have to make, but you know, like I said, there really was no reason we should have lost the second and third game other than just being flat and just not communicating. We didn't hit well. Hannah's been hitting well. Hannah Locks, our outside hitter, has been hitting very well over the last couple of games and has really led us. But we've got to get, you know, I've had it on the teams before where we've just had that one, you know, one hitter. We're not a one-hitter team. We have 4 or 5 girls who can hit the ball. We've just got to get more consistent. That was something on Thursday that we kind of emphasized is, you know, consistency, communication, and then celebration, just having fun. You know, you get a kill, hey, everybody celebrate, have fun, be, be happy for each other out there. And that was one thing that was kind of missing Thursday from us in the West Blocton game. Yeah, we won 3-0, but it looked like they weren't having fun. And we got to get back to where it's fun.
Tell us a little bit about the JV program and what they've been doing here recently and how you felt about their progress as the season's gone on.
Well, the JV, they're in a different little spot. They're having to learn, a new offense, something that they're not used to. They're not used to running they're used to running a 6-2, but, they're really just used to running front row setter is what they're used to running. We're used to running a 6-2. So we're trying to get them to where it's not back at middle school ball where, you just keep the ball on the other side of the net. We want to set the ball up. We want to hit. We want to do all the things that the varsity team is doing. It's just on a little bit smaller scale. And so they're still trying to learn it right now. It's not comfortable for them, so they're not playing as well. But by the end of the season, I know they will be. They've also kind of come out flat. I don't know if it was because they thought they were just going to go in and just wipe everybody out in these last two opponents. But my first bunch has come out kind of flat, but my second bunch has come in and really done a really good job and was able to win the second games for us. So we're going in the right direction. We've also got to get more mentally tough. And then, like I said, just learn that it's okay to feel uncomfortable. You got to feel uncomfortable to learn. And that's what we want them to understand is that, it is a learning process. You got to keep getting better. You got to push yourself every day, or you're just going to be just average the same when it comes, to the next years. Because some of these guys that are playing JV now, they're going to have to play varsity next year. I've got basically 4 underclassmen on varsity when you take away the 8 seniors. So, those JV players are going to have to step up. So I want them learning the system now so that's not new to them next year.
When does their season end? When the regular season ends? Or?
It will. They're going to go to the last tournament that we go to in Priceville, and then they will play up until the area tournament. As soon as the area tournament is over, I probably will pull up 3 of them to make a 15-team roster. But that's when their season will end. So they still have several more games to get in, a few more weeks to learn. It's amazing how quick it's gone. We were talking just the other day. We're really only about 3 weeks away from the area tournament. So, the season is closing in on us quickly.
When you look at this week, what are some of the things y'all are going to be working on the most, and where do you want to see the most improvement?
Well, tomorrow we'll get play Vincent. And it's going to be a chance to have the middle school team is going to be here and play first. Then our JV will play. Then our varsity will play. And it should be a situation where everybody gets a good bit of playing time, and we get to work on some things. And then Thursday we're going to go to Calera, and they're ready for us. We were able to beat them here. And so they're definitely going to be fired up and ready to get after us when we get to their place. And we're going to actually play a tri-match with Marbury there as well. So we'll see 2 really good teams on Thursday. And better be ready to play because, like I said, they're going to be coming after us to get a little bit of revenge.
What are you looking forward to most about from what you want to see, I guess, from your girls in a situation like that? Going on the road, you're playing against a team in a higher classification, you already beat them, so they've already kind of accomplished one of the goals that they had. But
right.
Obviously, sweeping them would go a long way towards showing you what kind of volleyball team that you have.
Oh, it definitely would. Right now, like I said, I still don't think that we're playing as well as that we're capable of playing consistently. We have those little spurts, and that's just one thing that we're really going to harp on this week is the consistency. And even from individual to individual, we'll have, this person will have a great game, and then the next game this person will have a great game, but we've really not had very many games when you've had like 2 or 3 or 4 that are really on at the same time. And if we ever can find that magic where everybody is playing well on the same night, we're going to be hard to beat.
Hopefully that'll be happening right at the right time here in a couple of weeks when
yes.
the tournament rolls around. Coach, really appreciate you taking the time to join us here on Keeping Up Montevallo Athletics. And good luck this week, and really look forward to being back here next week to recap it and start getting ready for another big week of area games next week.
Thank you.
Welcome back in, keeping up with Montevallo Athletics. Caleb Brooks, and I'm joined by head football coach, Coach Blake Boren. And Coach, we talked about this West Blocton team last week and talked about how, the record didn't really indicate what type of team they had. Obviously a really, really tight game on Friday night, really big defensive game for both sides. Really, what were they able to do on Friday night that allowed them to be able to play as good a defense as they were able to play, but also you guys obviously were able to play some pretty good defense on your side as well.
Yeah, we did play good defense. I thought we had a really good plan going in the game, and our kids executed it really well, and just really proud of the defensive effort. And it's like we said Monday of last week, playing a team that's really physical, really good at the point of attack, and really a very good high school defense, one of the better defenses we played. And so, we sort of felt like going into it, 1 or 2, 3 plays would decide the game, and we would have to stand up to that. And obviously they did a great job. I think we had double-digit pressures. They got home with their front, and a lot of times if you can get home with your front without having to create pressure, that makes it difficult. And so credit to them, they did a great job. But our kids played hard, and it's interesting now. We've played them 3 times, and every game's been decided by 1 point or less the last 3 years. And so you could go all the way back to 20, a couple plays here or there really decides the game, and it was no different this past Friday night.
How much do you feel like their experience, they played some tight games, Shelby County, played a tight game with Brookwood, how much did that help them late in the football game on Friday night?
I don't know if it helped them at all, really. I just think football is football, and by this point in the year, everybody's got experience. And, we had 2 really good possessions, the last 2 offensive possessions of the game. One ended in a turnover on a weird play with a corner and made a really good play off the edge. But we moved the football late in the game as well. And then, so I don't know if it was really that as much as just culmination of the events of the night, really. We just struggled offensively, and we'll have to get better as we continue to go on through the year.
How did you feel about the way that your offense kind of handled some of the adversity on Friday night and not playing as well during the game?
Yeah, I don't know if it wasn't us playing. We're just banged up, and I think we talked about that. You saw some of that on Friday night. I mean, we tried 3 or 4 different tailbacks in the game, and consistency is really important in high school football. Running back 1's different than running back 2 in terms of the fits and how you look at the runs and the tracks and the alignments and all that. And so, we still think we have a very good football team, and we're still excited about our future. We're still 2-1 in the region, and we're still in a great place. And we've got 2 really, really big games coming up this week with Jemison, which is a rivalry game, 11 miles down the road, and then we play Sipsey Valley in a really, really important match in 2 weeks in Tuscaloosa. So we have a lot to play for. Everything we want to do is still in front of us, and we're excited about where we're headed.
When you look at this week for your team, what are you going to be looking for the most from how they respond to how Friday night went?
Well, our kids will respond. I've been around here long enough to know that we respond. We started 0-4 in 2020, and we responded all the way to the second round of the playoffs. And so there's no question we're going to be fine. And so we're excited about the game with Jemison. It's a natural rivalry. It's a game that should be played here. More years than not, it is played. There's been a 2-year pause in it. My first 2 years here, and that was really one of the things we wanted to do was figure out a way to get them back on the schedule. Financially, from the gate standpoint, it ought to be a big moneymaker for them this year, and I think for us next year it'll do the same. And so it's great because our kids grow up knowing each other. We all kind of live in the same corridor of this part of the county, even though Chilton County is still really familiar to our kids and our people here in town. And so it ought to be a great game, and we're really excited to go down and play them.
When you look at Jemison, what are some of the things that they do well? I know they've been able to put up some points this year in some of their games. I know 36 against Thorsby earlier in the year, and they scored a bunch against Marbury as well. And so what kind of stands out to you about their group?
Yeah, they've got a bunch of seniors. If you look at their defensive roster, they start a bunch of seniors on that side of the ball. The coach there has done a great job, and there's a lot of excitement. I mean, they were 0-3 a couple weeks ago, and I saw them on social media. They had a community pep rally, kind of unwarranted. I mean, it wasn't like it was homecoming. It was just community getting together to rally and support the team, and that kind of propelled them to beat Marbury. And then obviously beating Marbury, who's a quality football team, we know that from having played them. Marbury just beat Tallahassee Friday night. Mm-hmm. Tallahassee is traditionally a really, really high-end football team in this state, and Jemison beat Marbury, who beat Tallahassee. So you don't read a whole lot into it because everybody has their own things that happen on Friday night, but there's no question that Jemison is a very capable football team, and I think it's a group that beat us in middle school last year, and so that group is now freshmen, and so we'll have to be ready to go and we'll have to play well on Friday night to have a chance.
Is there any worry of a letdown from not being a region game or anything like that?
No, I don't think so, because again, I think when our kids line up and play, they're going to be playing guys that they know and that they see, and they go to the movies with them, and and they see them in town here. And so I think I wouldn't expect there to be any letdown at all. You know, you only get so many opportunities, and we talk to our kids this all the time. Like, in this game, you're guaranteed 10 Friday nights, and so we start working out in January and February, and we you know, it's grueling. I mean, you go an hour in the weight room, you run after school. We get up here in the summer, 3 or 4 days a week, and you come in at 7 a.m. and you're there till 10:30, 11, and you run and you lift and you practice, and you do all that for Friday night. And so you have to cherish the opportunities that you have to put it on. You don't ever know when it's going to be taken away from you. I'm a product of that myself. Went into an operating room thinking I had a torn meniscus, and wake up and they say, you never play another down again. And it just goes by in an instant and in a flash. And so the one thing that we talk with our kids about is when it's time to play, you play, and you get up for those moments to play because it's meaningful and it's important and it's impactful. And I think our kids will do that. There will never be a letdown because, again, it's an opportunity that we have and we don't have a lot of them.
Is kind of figuring out the rotation at running back, is that one of the biggest keys you feel like going into this Friday night for you guys?
Yeah, I think so. Anthony Martin's our clear number one tailback. Last week was just a weird week because we dealt with, a little bit of a nagging injury, and then we had one that had an illness that we had to deal with. And, I thought E.J. Martin did a nice job Friday night. He had 10 carries for 75 yards a week 4 against Dallas County. Came in off the bench kind of at Hale County and did a great job there. And so we feel like we have capable running backs. You have one running back, you have no running backs, but when you can put a couple of them together, you feel like you've got a chance. And so, we feel like we have 4 or 5 guys that can carry the football. We're also excited too. Cam Goins towards ACL in the spring game and seems to be making really good progress for that. We think he'll be cleared here in the very near future. And so, you have to run the football to win in high school. You watched us when we were in college. We didn't put a lot of emphasis on running the football. We threw it all over the park. But high school football is a completely different game than what you see on Saturdays. And so I do think to be successful, it starts with your ability to run the football, control the line of scrimmage, and then a lot of what we do well plays off of that. And that's what we did at Dallas County. We threw the ball really well at Dallas County. We threw the ball really well at Hale County, but it started with a good running game up front. So that's what we have to get back to, and that's what we're going to have to do to be successful Friday.
You feel like it's important for the offense to kind of get going and build some confidence in themselves going into this second half of the region schedule?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just, it's hard to believe that we're 5 games into this now and the season's halfway done. And so, again, we've got a good group, and, West Blocton's a very talented defense. So this is just one step on our journey over 10 games. And so, you sort of, I told our kids on Friday night, we slept fine, and we told our kids we were proud of them at the end of the game because I think our kids played hard and competed, especially defensively. The thing is most kids that play defense, they flip right over and play offense. So it's not like we're singling out one individual group. We played hard and we played with good effort. The ball didn't bounce in our way Friday night, and that's okay. We're going to practice again today, and we'll have the music loud and the enthusiasm will be good, and we'll put all of our energy and focus on moving forward this week. And I think you have to do that as you go through the year because the year is long. It starts in August. You start when it's 95 degrees and you finish in the freezing cold. And so as the seasons change, the game changes. Every week presents new opportunities and new challenges. And I think teams that get it are teams that, look forward and don't necessarily look behind you.
Coach, really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us here on Keeping Up with Montevallo Athletics. Good luck. Welcome back in, Keeping Up with Montevallo Athletics. Caleb Brooks now joined by Gabe Haynie, senior member of the football team. And, Gabe, you're tight end on the offense. And you look at last week for you guys, it was a struggle offensively, not able to get up a ton of points. What were some of the things that West Blocton was able to do defensively that really gave you guys some trouble on the offensive side?
They were big, very physical. We haven't played a team quite as physical as them yet, and I think it kind of threw us for a loop. But I know we can bounce back next week and play just as physical as they have. It was a good test, though. I think it's going to make us better.
You guys faced a ton of adversity on Friday night. When things aren't going as well, it gets really, really frustrating. What did you kind of find out about this group with how everybody responded and how everybody handled that on Friday?
I think when the pressure got on, we actually started to play a little bit better. We scored late. The 2-point conversion, we almost converted it. We tried to make one more drive in the last couple minutes of the game. We threw some great routes. I think we handled pressure better than most teams do. It's almost like we played better than them.
Do you feel like the end of the game kind of getting some momentum on offense, how much do you feel like that can kind of carry over now to Jemison on Friday?
A lot. I think we're hungry for a win. Last week hurt. It's a big rival. We're playing a team. Jemison we haven't played in 2 years. I don't think we've played them since I was a freshman. We missed that rivalry. We've been playing them since we were all this big in kindergarten, so it'll be a good game.
How much are you looking forward to a game like Friday night, against Jemison, a rivalry game, going to be a lot of people in the crowd, a lot of people excited about this game?
A lot. Like I said, it's been a long time since we played them. It was fun freshman year. I remember being in middle school playing them, being even younger than that playing them. It's going to mean a lot to play them senior year.
We talked about kind of building some offensive momentum, all that stuff into Friday night, but the defense played really well on Friday. And what did that really show you about that group and what they're kind of capable of going forward the rest of this year?
The defense has been the same every week. They show up and do their job. The defense, I don't think anybody's worried about the defense. They'll do just as good Friday night. They'll do just as good for the rest of the season.
How much does it help, some of you guys that don't play both ways to go against a lot of those guys on defense and get to see that in practice and stuff?
It helps a lot, especially with our defense line being the way they are. We have 2 great defensive ends. The interior guys are good. You kind of know you're not going to face competition in a real game that's that steep when you play those guys every day in practice.
What's kind of your biggest key for Friday night? What does this team really need to do well to come away with a win?
Play physical, keep the energy up. I think we were a little down last week. It was our first away game. We're not used to having to travel. I think we're going to handle it a lot better this week. We'll play physical. Jemison's always big. So as long as we come out with our hair on fire like we were that last quarter, I think we're going to win.
Talk about handling going on the road a little bit better. What were some of the things that you noticed that this team could do better with the bus trip and with being away from here?
Everyone was really mature about it, which is something we've struggled with in the past, is playing around on the bus, but everybody was mature about it. I think we kind of fell asleep a little bit. We're used to being able to get really excited in the locker room before, and it was just different. We haven't done it yet, and it was a big road test. We're not used to having the crowd not on our side, so I think it'll be different in this game, though. I think we know how to handle it now.
We're going to do the Get to Know You session of the interview, and so first off, tell me what your favorite food is and how often are you eating that food?
Favorite food would probably have to be jambalaya or gumbo, and honestly, probably about once a week. It's not really good. You can get the boxes at the store.
Yeah.
That's like my pinch food. In a pinch, it's always jambalaya or gumbo.
Awesome. What's your favorite movie or type of movie to watch?
I love comedies. Honestly, I could not tell you a favorite because I've seen so many, but definitely comedies.
Do you have a favorite actor that you like watching their comedy movies?
Every Adam Sandler movie is great.
Yeah.
There's never been a bad one.
I like that. What's your favorite subject in school?
Science.
Science. What is it about science?
I've always been naturally pretty good at it. I love science.
Awesome. Is there a TV show or anything that you're watching right now on Netflix, Hulu, HBO, anything like that?
Not at the moment. Football season is kind of a struggle to watch TV, but the last one I watched would probably be, I went back and watched Breaking Bad.
Awesome.
That was good.
Yeah, that's a really good TV show. Is there any kind of message that you would give to people out there on what makes being a part of Montevallo Athletics special, being a part of this football team special?
It really is special. It's done wonders for me. I remember when I was a kid, it makes it easy to have friends. One of the big ones was the wrestling team. If you wrestle, you're on the same team from 7th grade to senior. So I came in as a 9th grader and had friends from sports. So that was a big deal. And you're kind of connected with everybody in a small town like that by playing sports. You've been in the same place that your grandparents and your parents have been in. It's kind of a family thing.
Awesome, man. Well, listen, appreciate you taking time to join us here on Keeping Up Montevallo Athletics, and good luck to you guys the rest of this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome back back in, keeping up with Montevallo athletics. Caleb Brooks now joined by Hannah Locks, senior member of the volleyball team here at Montevallo. And Hannah, for y'all, it's been a good season so far. And last week got into the meaningful time of year, playing area games and finally getting to kind of see where you guys could be seated later on in the year to be able to host the area tournament potentially. And so being this late in the year now already, it flies by and goes by so quick. How fun has this year been for you, and has this kind of gone the way that you envisioned your senior year going?
Yeah, it's been really fun for me to be back. I've loved it so much. It's gone really fast, which is sad because I just want to soak it in as much as I can. I don't know what next year is looking like for college, but I'll probably be playing some club in the spring, but I'm really going to miss this team because we bonded a lot and had a lot of fun. So, yeah, it's been great.
You know, you look at you guys had homecoming a couple weeks ago, only had one
did.
match that week, but it's like me and Coach Niven talked about, that's kind of a time in the middle of the year for y'all to take a break, get away from volleyball, kind of come back refreshed. Did you feel like this group came back refreshed last week, ready for the most meaningful time of the year?
More or less. I think it was a long break, and we were just having a lot of fun. So we weren't as much volleyball minded, but I think we came back, had a really good practice, and got ready for area, and it was really good. It was that boost that we needed for the games for our energy and momentum to be up going into it.
Tell me about the games last week, how you felt about the way that y'all were able to play.
We won both, so we're first in area right now. Played Bibb County. We had to come back, which is normally kind of hard for us. We're not the best comeback team, but I was really proud of the way that we fought and came back. We had worked in training on some tips and different things after watching film, but they didn't have the formation that we thought that they were going to have, so we had to adjust, and I think that we did a really good job adjusting to what we saw and working together, so that was great. And then West Blocton, we got them in 3 sets, and it was a fun game, and we were able to get our bench in there, and everybody got some good touches, and it was a fun one.
You know, you talk about adjusting in the Bibb County match, and how much did it help? This is a veteran team. This is the girls that have played a lot of volleyball together, and how much did that help y'all being able to adjust, being able to understand what y'all needed to do to adjust and have success against them?
It was great. I don't think I could have done it with anybody else because we just understand each other a lot. After every point, you go back to the center and you give each other a hug or a high five, and we talk to each other, and it's really just like encouragement and saying, like even our setter, like, Paige, that was a great set, just keep it up. Or if somebody had a great pass, just like focus on your passes, and even if you miss a serve or you miss a pass, just get your head back in it. Nobody's mad at you. We're just ready to win, ready to play. So it's great to have that team.
How have you felt about the way that your class has really kind of led this group? You know, it's kind of the second year in a row that y'all have been counted on to lead this team and be the upperclassmen. How have you felt about the way that everybody's kind of done that this year?
It almost feels like we're not leading anybody else but ourselves. I feel like we're counting on each other and leaning on each other more than we're leading each other, because we've been together since 7th grade, this starting bunch, so we're really just leaning on each other and trying to be a good example. But I feel like just the way we play is an example to other people, and yeah, that bond I feel like just proves our leadership.
You know, coming off last year where, you know, obviously y'all didn't win the area, how important was, you know, especially against Bibb County last week, how important was that match to y'all?
It was really important to the girls that played. I didn't play last year, so I didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. Of course, I watched last season, and it was tough to see them lose, but coming back, it was really important. They wanted that revenge, and they got it, so I'm really proud of them.
Looking at this week, where do you want to see the most improvement from this team?
I'm ready to see our front line get on fire. I think we've had a couple people starting to get that fire back. We've had a couple slumps, but that's okay. I mean, that happens in volleyball, but I'm just ready to see our girls at the net just get that fire back in them and start getting kills again.
We're going to do the Get to Know You Now session here of the interview. And so, Hannah, first off, just tell me what your favorite movie is or favorite genre movie or whatever.
I really like comedies, but one of my favorites is the original Top Gun. That one's really good. Love the action. Love Goose. Love Maverick.
What'd you think of the
new one was so good. I watched it twice in the theater. It was great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food to eat?
I like sushi. Sushi girl. I know how to make it too. That's
Oh,
how
awesome.
I'm obsessed with it.
Do you like doing it homemade
Yeah.
more than going and getting it from somewhere?
No, but at least I could still get it if I make it myself.
Awesome. What's your favorite subject in school?
I really like my history class right now. I'm at the University of Montevallo taking the class over there. My professor is really funny, and I feel like I've learned a lot. So it's been fun.
Getting to do that, you know, you're kind of getting ahead in some college classes and things like that. How much is that helping prepare you for what you're maybe doing next after you leave Montevallo here?
I mean, I already feel like I'm a college student. I don't come here anymore. I do virtual Shelby. So I take all my high school classes online, and then I take a couple classes at UM. So I feel like I'm already into the groove of it, which is really nice. It's really settled a lot of my anxieties and fears about next year. So I think coming up, it's just going to be the leaving home part that might scare me a little bit, but it's been great to get in the swing of it already.
So do you know where you're planning to go to school? You talk about
I'm
leaving
thinking
home.
about Troy.
Okay.
I really want to see what happens with volleyball, but Troy's looking really good right now, and I'm working on my ACT to get that up, and I just want free college. So that's what I'm going for right now.
Is there a TV show or anything that you're watching currently right now? Not into TV shows, or just too busy to do it right now?
I'm way too busy, way too busy.
Kind of give everybody a message out there of why being a part of Montevallo Athletics is a special thing, and what you've enjoyed the most of getting the opportunity to be a part of this and be a part of this volleyball program.
I think Montevallo Athletics has really taught me what a family is like and truly what team is like. I feel like if I was at a bigger school like Thompson or something, it'd be much more competitive than it is teamwork, because I feel like everybody's really fighting for that position, and that doesn't go to say that people aren't fighting for positions here, because we definitely have that competition aspect, but we're just so close. And I think that even all the teams here is like, I'm in cheerleading and I'm in volleyball, and I just feel like all the teams mesh so well together just as an athletic program, and I think that our administrators do a really good job at trying to get us all together. So it's been really fun to be a part of this team. And I was gone last year, and that was really hard, but I was still able to be on the bench and support them. And now that I'm back, it just feels like I was never gone. And we just have a very open arms kind of feeling with this program. It's great.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
good luck the rest of this year,
Thank
and
you.
really appreciate you joining us here on Keeping Up with Montevallo Athletics.
All right, thanks.